today's review of Heat, Pedal to the Metal, doing some math at the end for the win. So just wanted to go over this game of Heat today. It's pretty much just your standard game except for the last few turns. So, but we'll get through it here real quick. Because there are some points where I can point out during the game where some decisions were made that were not ideal for some people. So there's no cooldown, but we don't have to worry about it. It's not out on the track. We do lose one stress. We have +1 slipstream on both of these long sections here, so it's like one big long bonus. Added speed limit here and a free boost here, so no real negative effects on this map. So looking at this draft, I was thinking I want to have something to help me get through these turns, you know, and maybe there'll be a card in the second draft that's really good for slipstream, because I don't think I'd get both like a wing and a RPM. And I also was thinking maybe I should try this 3 gas pedal also. I hardly ever take these big gas pedals, like the 3 and 4 gas pedal. So, 3 wing was chosen. Then I think the cooling system gets taken here. Yep, I take the wing 4. A jammery, I think, takes the RPM, and I forget what else they take. Maybe the brake. The tires. So there's a tires +1 speed limit. I take the gas pedal, like I said. I wanted to give it a shot. And it does help me out a lot in this race. So maybe it's something going forward. If I get a chance to take, I will. Okay, so I see this draft. I'm drafting second in this one. I didn't think this would be here, even though it's not the greatest card. It's really better than most of the other things here, in my opinion. This tires here is pretty good, but so Majamri takes the cooling system. They're really putting an emphasis on cooling system in this one, my opponents. So I take the 4-wheel drive. Then it just goes through them taking wings and suspensions, and it's back to me. I just take the suspension one here just because I need to take a card. And then tires get taken in the last card of the draft. I discard suspension. Jammery puts back that tires plus, which is actually a good card. I don't know why they did that. The reason why that card is good because it's a boost, right? So even if you're not using it on the corners, right, you can use it on straightaways, and it has a cooldown on it. So it's like a cooling system. So I just go 10 because, you know, I had a pretty decent start, but I also didn't want to risk with the boost getting stuck back here. So I just go the 10. Be satisfied that I'm that close to the corner. Okay, Fina goes 8, and they boost, go 4 more. Great Legend's been flies around in this race. Keep pretty much up with the pack for once. This is what I was trying to avoid. Moshi stuck way behind us, but they get just enough speed to be able to make it through this corner, right? They just played 2 boosts off the bat. That's very dangerous. Very, very dangerous start to a race. Yeah, I'll just get through the corner. Nothing special. Fina decides to use their wing. Okay, that's not necessary for here. Like, I would never use a wing card on here unless I was like really far behind. Like, if I was here maybe, like at the 8, and I wanted to make sure I got through this corner to keep up with everybody, yeah, I would use it. But like, you're here, like, why do that? If you just go 7, you can slipstream around them and it doesn't cost you heat, right? And I'm satisfied where I'm at. I look at my cards. I'm going to use my 4-wheel drive with the 2 boosts here. I mean, that's why I got the thing, right? Plus, I have a gas pedal in reserve just in case I come up short. Plus, I have enough heat to do a regular boost, right, at the end of my turn. Here's a curious decision here. Moshi decides to go 10 for some reason. Like, just get through this corner, this long straightaway. You can make up time here, right? As long as you're through the corner, it shouldn't matter as much, but they decided to blow 3 heat just to catch up with the pack. Okay, Fina gets to the 1 spot before the corner. Gray like flies all the way to the line. Majammery goes to the 3 spot. It's not the greatest spot in the world. Because then, well, there is a 4 speed limit. So it's not as bad in this race. Moshi goes up and slipstreams. Then I get a bad draw here, but I draw a 2, a 1, and a 3, so I move 6. So I'm definitely going to use a boost here, right? I get a 1. Then I use adrenaline. Then I use my 4-wheel drive. And I'm able to not even spend my gas pedal here, so. So once again, like I said, this straightaway is a good equalizer here. Like, you can catch up here. Like, there's no reason to panic as long as you make it through this corner, I think. Especially if you take big movement cards, right? That you can use on the other side, like the triple boost, you know, the 4 with the boost. Those cards are really good here to help you catch up. Got to be careful how fast you're going when you reach this corner. Like, you don't want to be in 4th gear here, obviously. So as long as you can manage that, you're fine. Like, if you know you have a bunch of 1s and 2s in your deck, yeah, go all out on this straightaway. So I just go my 5. I wasn't trusting people yet. I don't think I've raced against any of these opponents before. So I'm going to play it a little bit extra aggressive just so I can not get left behind anywhere. Jammery makes it through. I spent an adrenaline. They had the tires though, so that wasn't a bad move at all. Okay. I really didn't like this position I was in. I hate going straight to the line. So I just look at this here. I want to be at the 9 spot, right? So right here, right? I want to move 9 is what I'm saying. Be in this spot here so I can come around the corner and slipstream if possible. So I go 6 and then I spin my gas pedal. Like I said, the gray car is really pushing people this race. During this race, they were like oh, I'm gonna be mad if this gray legend wins. I'm like, who cares? Like, the gray legend doesn't make decisions. It just does what it's gonna do. Like, why should I care if they win or not, right? There's nothing I could do about it as long as I make solid decisions and I'm playing against, you know, my game against the actual players, right? That's all I care about. Okay. Fina just goes 3. So I'm seeing a pattern of them being conservative on these short turns, right? So I was going aggressive, like I had my wing, but I didn't want to be in first gear, so I went 5. So I overshot my opponent, right? But it didn't cost me anything other than a heat, so. And I get my wing right back, so it's sort of like not a big deal, right? Now the gray legend, like I said, that player I cannot trust to do anything, so it's just going to play a random card. So I don't think it's just going to go 3 here. I thought it was going to go 4. So I take that into account. I move 6, I believe. Because I didn't have a 1. So cost me all my heat to do this maneuver. I knew that could have happened, so it is what it is. Like, I knew I could accidentally spend, I was going to spend all my heat, but I was hoping to get a slipstream is basically what I'm saying. My thoughts are jumbled today. You have to excuse me. Majamri didn't trust them either. So they went all the way through the corner instead of stopping here and slipstreaming. Now the other cars really don't have that much of a choice. Except for Moshi could go real fast through here. They have a lot of heat. So they go 5 with the wings, so that only cost them 2 heat. But they spent 3 heat there. They upshifted. They spent 1 for the car and then 1 for the extra speed, or card, 1 for the extra speed. So that's 3 heat. So down to 2 heat instead of 5. So I have no heat here, so I'm just going to go up in the 3rd gear. I have my 4-wheel drive with the 2 boost again. I get a really bad draw. I move 8, I think it is. Yep, so I got a 1, a 1, and a 3, which moves me 5, and then I use my 4-wheel drive to move the other 3, right? Everybody's gonna fly by me here. Okay, so everybody's here, right? Well, let's green finish their turn, I should say. All right. So these 3 cars are in prime position to get through the corner. 8 is not, because they have to stay in second gear and somehow come up with 8 or 9 movement, right? Because you're going to need 2 heat to get through this. So I'm very perplexed on what they did here. It's not a good move at all. I mean, it could be that they're still learning, but they play 3 cards here. They play 7 and a boost. Like 7 gets you here. They played a boost after it. Like, what did you expect to get? A 1? Like, maybe they were counting out their deck and had a lot of 1s, but still, like. And then they come through here and then they cool down. So they wasted that heat. Like, if you wreck and you know you're going to wreck, don't cool down. Because that heat's just going to go back into your deck. So I'm able to catch up with blue here. Okay. Gray Legend flies ahead. Jammery keeps up with them for the most part, but stops like a 3 behind. And this is a tricky spot for him, right, with Jammery, because to get through this corner, they're going to need to move 7. They are, right? And then they have 2 heats, so they would have to cool down the heat in order to get through this corner, and then their heat's gone, which might be worth it in the right circumstances. Vina just goes 7, which sets me up. Oh no, yeah, for this for a little bit of a slipstream here. Away. Just play 7, and then I'm going to use my gas pedal. Rig gets stuck behind the line because they didn't have any heat in their hand. If I was in that position and I could cool down the heat, I would definitely try to get through that corner, I think. Because it gives you a turn up on green and 2 turns up on us, right? So, not that it really matters, because I make up a turn here by how I move, so I'm right to the line now. Okay. Blue goes 7. They boost. And they use their drone. They get to the 4, which is borderline getting through this corner again. So they're really struggling, I think. So Gray Legend is trying to win the race. Conservative, so I knew I could slipstream here. And that's just from how they've been playing around these smaller corners, right? Other than that weird maneuver here at the beginning with the 10, they've pretty much been sticking to the speed limit unless they have wings or something. So Fina like goes 7. Uses all their heat again. So they're on the very edge. Like, we're coming towards the end of the race. You want to like conserve your heat a little bit here, right? So I didn't want to go all the way to the line. So I played a boost and 2 3s, hoping I would get to like the 1 or 2 spot. Unfortunately, I drew a 1. It's not the end of the world though. I have 2 heat in my hand. Everybody's going to go past me here, so I'll be in last place. Which means that I can drop these 2 heat back into my engine, so I can use this wing aggressively, right? Because I need to have 2 heat coming out of this corner, right? Because I need to be able to do a free boost here, and I need to get in the 4th gear. So that's where I started doing the math. Like, okay, I need to have this much heat, right? Okay. So the Jamboree goes all the way to the line, I believe. Nope, 1 short. Oh yeah, they have adrenaline. Okay, so I'm going to go 6 with this wing here. I think initially I thought about going 4, but then I changed my mind and go 6. Because I thought maybe if I just go 4, then I can use the wing here, but that's way too much speed, right? I'd rather use it here and get closer to this line. And blue, like I said, they've been going pretty conservatively around these corners. They went 4 this time. So nothing out of the ordinary. You know, people do that all the time. It's the slipstream. Mushi goes 4. Took a big chance there using a boost, but they had the heat to cover it if necessary. So all right, here goes my 6 movement, just enough to slipstream. If they were 1 ahead, I would have used adrenaline there too, just so I can get a little bit closer to this line. I think it would have been worth it. So if I'm here, then I'm just 1 space closer to the corner where I'm going to have to spend heat anyways, right? So I'm just exchanging 1 heat here for 1 heat here, right? Okay. Everybody's getting through the corner. Now the gray card goes the extra space, but I took that into account. I'm going to go 4 just to make sure, because I have enough heat to do that without messing up my end game. So that's the second bit of math I was doing, right? Here's the last bit of math. We'll go through this once everybody's done here. We get to my turn. Because I had a decision to make. So I have these 3 4s, right? That's definite. I'm going to play those, right? I have a 4-wheel drive and I have a 3, right? This is guaranteed 3 movement, right? But what is the minimum for this card, right? This minimum is 2, right? I know I'm going to boost again, so the minimum is 3, right? So there's no reason to play this card. You should always probably play this card over a 3, especially if you plan to boost, right? Because the worst that happens is you're 1 less than 3. The best thing that can happen is you move 5 off of this card without any other boost, right? So the upside is way more. That's what I do. So Jamboree can only go that far right there to the 5 spot. Fina gets stuck right there, I think. Right? Yep. Moshi has a pretty decent hand here. 12 plus 3 is 15. Pretty good movement. And then can boost, right? So they get the 3. So I draw 2, which gives me 14, right? So I'm in last place, so I have an adrenaline. So I'm also going 15, right? So we'll just go through this one at a time, right? So I go here, right? Use my adrenaline. Then boost, right? Get a 1. And now because I have 2 boosts, I use my 4-wheel drive just to square my head. So. And then legend card goes 20. And then all the other players were whining about, who's seen a legend card go 20? I see a legend card go 20 a lot. Like, so I don't know if they don't play much. In fact, it went 20 twice in this game. It did that the first lap too, I think. It went 20. So, yeah. So, like, yeah. So when you get near the end of the race, you really need to start figuring out how much heat you need. You know, understanding that certain cards are, like, more efficient than other cards, right? That boost with the plus is always better than the 3, a 2, or 1, which seems obvious, but some people probably might think that that steady 3 is worth more. Steady 4 I might just play a steady 4, but I don't know. So there's another game of Heat. If you like my content, please like and subscribe. And until next time, have a nice day.